Tensions were already high during the third quarter of the Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun game when chaos erupted on national television. It all started with what looked like an accidental eye poke. JCS Sheldon swiped at the ball and caught Caitlinclark in the face. Clark, clearly frustrated, responded with a light shove, a typical heat-of-the-moment move seen in nearly every competitive game. But then, like a storm out of nowhere, Mabrey came flying in from behind, blindsiding Clark with a full-body shove that sent her sprawling to the court. It wasn't a basketball play. It wasn't even close. It was an act of aggression thinly veiled as teammate loyalty. Shock swept across social media and the arena alike. The refs blew the whistle, but what followed only made things worse. They issued technical fouls to both players. Clark, the one who got hit in the face and shoved in frustration, and Mabrey, who forcefully knocked her down from behind. In what world do the victim and the aggressor receive equal penalties? The crowd was stunned. Commentators were bewildered. Fans online called it out instantly. This wasn't justice. It was a failure of officiating. The league, sensing the backlash building like a tidal wave, quickly reassessed the situation after the game. Mabrey's technical foul was upgraded to a flagrant 2, which carries a $400 fine. But $400? That's less than a traffic violation in some cities. The WNBA essentially sent the message that cheap-shotting their biggest star is worth pocket change. It's hard not to see this as a massive misstep. Clark is the most-watched player in the league, driving unprecedented attention and growth in viewership, merchandise, and sponsorships. When she plays, ratings soar. When she sits, viewership drops dramatically. She's not just a player, she's a movement. And yet, the league failed to protect her. Even more shocking than the shove was Mabrey's response. Rather than apologize or show any sign of reflection, she doubled down. Her message was brief and cryptic, damned if you do, damned if you don't. She claimed she was defending her teammate and would be vilified regardless. But let's be clear, this wasn't about defending anyone. This was a personal act of aggression aimed at the face of the WNBA. There's a world of difference between standing up for a teammate and committing what many are calling a cheap shot assault. And the irony? Mabrey's attempt to flip the narrative and paint herself as the victim has completely backfired. The internet isn't buying it. Her reputation has taken a major hit, and she's now being labeled one of the dirtiest players in the league. Her family didn't help either. Her sister posted a TikTok celebrating the shove, and their mother reportedly applauded Marina for her actions. This isn't unity. This is delusion. Instead of addressing what was clearly a poor decision, her inner circle decided to bask in the moment, as if violence against another player is something to be proud of. It's this kind of toxic mentality that risks dragging the WNBA back, just as it's finally stepping into the mainstream spotlight. Caitlinclark is bringing more viewers, more money, and more interest to the sport than ever before, and some players seem to resent it. Rather than embracing the momentum, they're resisting it hard. This isn't Mabrey's first offense either. She's long had a reputation as an instigator, a troublemaker. WNBA fans have seen the compilation clips. Mabrey clashing with opponents, jawing at officials, playing the agitator. Even her fellow player Dejanai Carrington calls her the evil twin. When someone else known for being aggressive gives you that label, it's not a compliment, it's a warning. And it's not just Mabrey. Social media pages like Women Hooping showcase fights and WNBA beef, and Mabrey's face pops up more than any other. She, along with players like Sophie Cunningham, seem to thrive on chaos and confrontation. The reality is, every team has physical players. Every league has enforcers. But there's a line between intensity and recklessness, and Mabrey crossed it. She turned a game into a brawl. And in doing so, she became a cautionary tale. What's worse is that her actions overshadowed a strong performance from the Fever. They won the game 88-71. Clark dropped 20 points and 6 assists. That should have been the headline. That should have been the story. But instead, everyone's talking about a shove. About jealousy. About the inability of certain players to accept the changing tides in the league. And that's what this is really about. Jealousy. Clark isn't just good. She's a phenom. She sells out arenas. She breaks records. She boosts league revenue. And that kind of attention has drawn resentment from players who feel overlooked. But targeting her out of spite isn't a solution. It's self-sabotage. Instead of using this moment to elevate the game, Mabrey chose to play the villain. Maybe she thought it would earn respect. Maybe she thought fans would see her as loyal. But what she actually did was show a lack of control, a lack of leadership, and worst of all, a lack of remorse. The WNBA missed a major opportunity here. A suspension would have shown seriousness about player safety. A bigger fine would have sent a message. Instead, they handed out a token penalty and hoped the outrage would fade. But fans don't forget. Sponsors don't forget. Clark's value to the league is too big to ignore, and if she keeps taking cheap shots without proper protection, the league risks alienating its biggest new audience in years. Marinamabrey might think she's the victim of public scrutiny, but the reality is she brought it on herself. And until she takes accountability, the damage to her reputation will linger. That $400 fine? It's the least of her problems.